got some families that we're about to meet that are holding out hope in regards to being able to find their loved ones. Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona. His overturned Jeep and belongings were found in a nearby ravine. His parents, David and Melissa, need our help. We wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us about your son, Daniel.
I had a moment when you showed me his picture.
Yeah.
Just looking at him, it's so difficult. You want to talk to him, you want to hug him. Daniel is my hero. Just reading his text, telling me how he feels about me. Leaving the very last message on June the 21st, telling me how he loves me.
Hey, Mama. I just wanted to see how you're doing. I just want to let you know I love you. And, yeah, we could talk later. All right, bye.
Oh, wow. And that was the last time that you heard from him?
Yes.
David, when was it that you guys decided that something was not right?
On June 23rd, I received a phone call from my daughter. She alerted me that one of the co-workers came by and was searching for Daniel. We weren't getting any answers to his phone. They said he was last seen at his job site roughly 9 o'clock that morning. And I just knew immediately that things wasn't right because Daniel, he would never, ever not answer his phone, first of all. And the second thing is not tell us where he was going.
Right. I think that's really important because the idea of patterns, I'm really big on that, even with my children. What David is basically saying is that a pattern was broken. And so he saw immediately that this is out of character.
Right.
Something is wrong.
And that's so important for police officers when they start to investigate these cases. One of the first questions they'll ask is was this normal? Was this something he would do? Because the thought is maybe they're just not calling you. There is this tendency to say, why don't you just give it a little bit?
Right.
You might hear from him. He might come around.
Yeah.
But it's got to be, this is not like my son.
Yeah.
And you are the one who knows your child.
Right.
To have them understand, no, this, what's out of the ordinary.
David, is it my understanding that you've relocated to Arizona to lead the search for your son?
Upon putting in a missing person report with the Buckeye Police Department, they said they was going to go out, search the next following morning because it was too dark when I called in. And once that morning came and they counseled and alerted me that being that my son is grown, he's an adult, he's allowed to leave. When I heard that, that was unacceptable to me, so I grabbed everything I could and I just started driving. I made it out here and I've been here since June the 26th.
Got it.
I'm searching for my son. We're going to find Daniel.
Was it difficult to get the police to just take seriously that Daniel was missing?
Yes, even from the first day, you know, we know our son, and you know, it's very out of character. Things didn't add up. It was very difficult just to even get movement. They did a first search for my son, which was 3 days later. I haven't gotten any support from the police department. I mean, nothing. We have been fortunate to get our own cadaver dogs and search dogs, even the aircraft, drones. We've been on it. The searches, full of volunteers. The difficulty has been getting media attention. And I stayed up many nights emailing, texting, calling, visiting, whatever it took just to get something going. It lasted for 3 months. 3 hard months.
David, you actually hired your own investigator, right? You're saying the word we, but this does not include the police. You've had to do this independently, right?
That's correct. That is correct. I say we because everybody who come out to the searches, we're family. That's my extended family.
That's right.
Yeah.
We put long hours out there in 118-degree weather. They're dedicated people. The things that I feel, and my son's mother, is the things that the people that serve and protect should be doing. We found ourselves doing it.
When you talk about the searches that you've been putting together, how were you able to do that?
I didn't know anyone when I hit the ground here. I didn't know how to get involved. I never organized anything in my life.
Right.
So I just reached out to any and everybody I could. What I was trying to do is find people who actually knew about the desert conditions.
Got it.
When you found the car, all his belongings were inside the car, correct?
Well, it's a rancher found our son's vehicle, and that was on July the 19th. When I received the call, it was 9 o'clock that morning, the next day after they found my son's vehicle. The first thing the detective said to me was, "Hey, Mr. Robinson, we found your son's vehicle." That just took my breath away, thinking that maybe I'll hear something else horrible. I'm going to tell his mother. I said, "Okay, when was it found?" And he told me it was found the day before. And I asked him, "Okay, why you guys didn't call me? We didn't want to disturb your sleep." That made me uptight. My son's clothing, everything he had on his body was about 3 feet away from the vehicle in a pile. His safety vest that he wore the day he went missing was another foot away. His cell phone was in the vehicle, work computer. His wallet was in the pants pocket in the pile. I know that's difficult for his mother to hear all this. Excuse me, give him a moment. One of the things that struck me the most, my son is only 24 years old.
Yeah.
They're attached to their phones. I know they are.
Right.
And I couldn't see him leaving that behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What did the police tell you as to explain? Did they offer any theory of the case whatsoever to try to find him?
Yes, they gave me not too great of a theory. When I got out there, the detective gave me a briefing. He pointed out my son's clothing on the ground. He pointed out the vehicle's damage. He said that the vehicle flipped and rolled and landed on the side. He told me that there was no blood found in the vehicle, indicating our son wasn't injured. He said that he was wearing a seatbelt because of the way the seatbelt locked, so he knew the seatbelt was on. All the airbags were deployed. He told me that my son obviously escaped out of the sunroof, and that he must have had a severe head injury. He was delusional, decided to take his clothes off because head injury make him hot or something or the other. And he just walked off and probably rested under a tree somewhere. And that was his theory.
I think we're all dumbfounded for a moment, trying to think about all the things that do not add up
Right.
about this. But I keep looking at Mom.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about what every mother sees talking about their child. I know he's 24 years old, but you don't see a 24-year-old. You see the little baby, and you're hearing these things. What are you thinking?
When his father first told me that the vehicle was found, and then they started talking about cadaver dogs, I just screamed. And I just couldn't believe this can't be real. I was feeling like I'm in a nightmare.
Yeah.
I was on the floor. I cried. His father kept saying, "Alyssa, it's going to be all right. I'm going to find our son. I'm going to find him. I promise you, I'm going to find him." But I said, I just want him back. I didn't even know what to pray or how to pray.
Yeah.
And then I had to just change that prayer and say, I want him back safe. The thoughts are running rampant in my mind. I'm thinking the very worst thing, that someone is hurting my son. I'm seeing him crying out for me. I'm just seeing these things that he's just really needing to say, help me. I started dreaming about him, saying, Mama, I'm here. Mama, I'm over here. Hurry up. And I'm saying, Daniel, please listen to me. I'm talking to you. And it's saying, Mom, I'm here.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm here. I need to find him. And it was heartbreaking to just go to his apartment.
Yeah.
Very, very heartbreaking. I had to pick up the little hairs off the floor and put them in a Ziploc bag because at least I knew that was a part of him.
Right.
That's all I had.
But one thing I want to really say too, Daniel is definitely not a person that's depressed and down. He's high-spirited, have dreams, and he's a contributor to society. Daniel's a scientist, very smart, very sharp, and we just want him back home. We just want him back here with us.
We want to just give our prayers to you, our love, and, you know, we are wishing you the best in this.
Dawn in the desert, a clear and chilly November morning. We are near the city of Buckeye, Arizona, where a caravan of cars is arriving, carrying volunteers. For the next several hours, they will comb this unforgiving landscape, looking for a young man who's been missing since June of 2021. His name, Daniel Robinson. And leading the search, not law enforcement, but Daniel's father, David.
Where is everybody located?
For 9 painful months, Robinson and his team of volunteers, people he now calls family,
This is my family.
have been desperately trying to find any trace of his son.
He's a very bright, intelligent geologist. Anything that Daniel want to do, he would do it. He's born without a right hand, but he find ways to master anything that he want to do. You know, he's a geologist. Of course, Arizona is the ideal place.
In June 2021, Daniel had just begun a job doing field work at a desert well site. He'd always kept in close touch with his family back home in South Carolina. But around this time, Daniel suddenly stopped calling.
I tried to call his phone constantly. He wasn't answering.
In fact, the whole family tried calling Daniel. Nothing. His sister in Arizona checked his apartment. No one there.
I was worried. I didn't want to panic because I didn't want my children to panic, so that's when I decided to call the Buckeye Police Department.
The Buckeye PD is a small one with barely more than 100 officers. Nevertheless, they began investigating by first checking the area where Daniel was reportedly working. Nothing turned up. 2 days later, David Robinson, desperate for answers, felt he had to take matters into his own hands.
I just grabbed everything I had, threw it in my vehicle, and just started driving. And I made it here. I came straight through, left South Carolina, came straight to Arizona.
Some 45 hours later, David arrived in this daunting desert, exhausted, but in a panic. His son was out here somewhere, all alone, facing 3-digit heat, rattlesnakes, and not a soul or building in sight. So on his own, David started searching and soon made his way to the well site where his son was last seen.
This is where it all began. This is where the whole narrative started. My son drove off into the desert and vanished, maybe from here.
David then met with a witness, a co-worker of his son's who said he saw Daniel at the well the day he disappeared.
He did tell me that my son seemed like he was looking out into space somewhere, looking out into the desert terrain, kind of staring off, and was acting really quiet. And then he told me my son just kind of waved off to him, got in his vehicle, and drove off.
Where he went and what exactly happened next, no one seems to know. Soon after that meeting, David began recruiting volunteers to help him search the sprawling Sonoran Desert. Every Saturday for the next few weeks, they scoured this barren, treacherous landscape. They have not found Daniel. Then in July 2021, a break, a big one. A local rancher found Daniel's Jeep rolled over in a remote ravine.
When I first saw that crash site, I was really devastated. This place I had to go to and see for myself.
The airbags had deployed. The sunroof looked as if it had been kicked open, perhaps used as an escape route. And this was odd. Outside the Jeep were what appeared to be Daniel's clothes and work boots, his wallet still in his blue jeans. Inside the vehicle was his college ID, laptop, keys, cell phone, and plenty of bottled water. To help make sense of this mystery, David hired private investigator Jeff McGrath, an expert at reconstructing accidents. He has a theory of what might have happened.
There was nothing along this route that the vehicle took into that bottom ravine that matched the damage. It's telling me the vehicle was probably crashed somewhere else. Either moved here or it was continued to be driven, and this was its final stop. And whether somebody stole it in joyriding, whether Daniel was in it, but it tells me something happened somewhere else.
The Jeep has since been moved to a secured location for further analysis, but plenty of evidence still remains of the crash.
I don't believe it was enough to kill, no. The airbags had enough force to do some damage. They strike you in the face, and they come out with a lot of force, and it could cause a concussion, but there wasn't enough violence here in this crash to cause a lethal.
That suggests Daniel survived and was perhaps disoriented and maybe wandered aimlessly into the desert. Could this be other than accidental? Could foul play be involved in Daniel's disappearance? It's something McGrath and David have not ruled out. It's something police have examined too. To this point, there is no evidence of that. None at all. Whatever happened back in June of 2021 has David Robinson now bracing for the worst.
It's hard to say you're searching for your son, walking around the desert with no clothing, no shoes. So I had to mentally put it in my head that I'm doing a recovery. So I need to go find every spot I can out here to rescue my son. He may be hurt, injured, somewhere stuck, whatever. I need to find my son. Yeah, I found something up here interesting.
David is hoping to get more attention, help, and resources from the Buckeye PD, which says this is still an ongoing investigation, although so far not a criminal one.
Okay, so we're still working this side.
He's also tried to enlist federal help. In the fall of 2021, the Buckeye PD briefed the FBI and asked for their assistance. The Bureau recently told us they're still assessing the case. So far, they have not gotten involved. So for now, David Robinson and his team of volunteers continue to search.
I really have faith that somehow God can bless that he's alive somewhere, and I hope so. I am not stopping. He's my son. He's my responsibility. He's a fighter. He never give up on anything. I definitely won't give up on him.
Where is Daniel Robinson?
Saturday night, that question on the hearts and minds of Daniel Robinson's family and friends gathered at the state capitol asking for more to be done since the now 25-year-old geologist vanished in the Buckeye Desert.
My son is just not my son. He's also America's son, because this happened to a lot of families.
Since then, his father David organizing search parties hoping to find his son. Volunteers showing up week after week, standing strong with the Robinson family.
Daniel could be any one of us, and so we definitely need to bring awareness to the situation. If we don't speak up for him, and help find him, who will?
Daniel and my son went to the same high school. Felt it was my duty as his neighbor to be here to support him and really try to figure out where Daniel is and bring him home safe.
David's search parties found Daniel's Jeep Renegade rolled over in a ravine, airbags deployed, his clothing found inside out, boots and socks, wallet and laptop, no blood, no signs of injury, no signs of Daniel.
God knows how much we can bear, and at times I feel like I can't really take but so much more.
But in his weakest times, David says it's the volunteers that provide him strength.
Everybody know that I call them my extended family. And so this visual is the same thing. We all here have one common goal, and that's to find Daniel and also to bring light what happened to other families.
As the Robinsons' extended family light candles tonight, their collective light shines towards that day when their question is answered and Daniel comes home. Josh Sanders, 12 News.
Yeah, I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. We're out here to do a candlelight visual on behalf of my son, and also to bring light into other families who are going through similar situations. So I'm thanking everybody who's out here to support. We need to stand in solidarity to bring attention to this case and to make a statement.
Oh, I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you.
My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at the College of Charleston.
Good job.
David and I are really happy to be here, and we're really honored to share this story of a very special young man, and ask hopefully David's journey to try to find his son. So that's really what we're going to talk about the case, but I think this journey that he's taken is remarkable. I think everybody can relate to. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay. So, David, let's start with Daniel. Who is Daniel? What was he like growing up?
Daniel, like any other typical child, he's the youngest of his group. He's out of the board. He has two sisters and one older brother. And he always challenged him from childhood. First thing about Daniel we learned is his bone with one hand, of course. His right hand is his bone without that. Very loud child when he screamed. Almost left no name to crawl. Again, I want to be heard, I want everybody to know right. Growing up, quickly. Like I said, challenges still is wherever it was academically or it was just playing video games. He's going to make sure he's on top of the whole thing. So Daddy taught himself how to play the French horn, and they played the trumpet, trombone, so he wanted to play a little bit of sports. So he always challenges himself. He didn't let anything stop him. Once he got into college, he decided he wanted to be a geologist. He excelled that, and he also graduated with honors. So that's David. That's the typical child he is. He also, like I say, family oriented. Anytime we have any type of conflict that they see in his family, he's the one that's in that gap right there, the bridge together.
So you all stay close. Yeah. So is this like a daily talking kind of close, or once a week, happy Father's Day, or instrumental kind of close?
Well, midday don't talk daily. I'm sure he talks to his mother daily. We don't talk this siblings, but so his friends. But we talk, when we do talk, Danny and I, we have 2-hour conversations every time. So I know when I'm talking to Danny, I have to set aside that time. Hey, Danny, if I'm in the middle of something, I know I have to set aside because we're in a 2-hour conversation. But as I said, we do talk every day. Always often, his family, his siblings, they talk every day.
And he got this love of geology from where? You're retired military, so where did this come from? Do you know?
Thank you. Well, one thing is just like any other child, Dave did decide he wanted to try geology in his senior in high school. Where the passion came from, I'm not sure definitely. But once he got to college, he got kind of undecided in freshman year. but he melted down within that year. He really enjoyed it, but he was learning from it.
So when we come to the summer of 2021, so we're coming up on 1 year anniversary of what we're about to talk about, and summer of 2021, tell me about Daniel's world in Arizona. Where is he? What is it like? What's happening with him on a day-to-day basis with his job?
Well, you know, Daniel, he always wanted, like I said, he wanted to show his manhood. Once he graduated from college, he came out to Arizona to start his career. One thing about Arizona is a place for him in geology. He loved the idea that he could go hiking and get into nature. So Daniel often liked to hike. That's one of the favorite things that he liked to do when he's out there. Also, to show his manhood to me, and his love. Look, I'm on my own. I take care of myself now. He has one bedroom in his apartment when he first came out, and he took care of stuff. So he got to show himself on that.
And where was he working at the time? What was a geologist exactly?
Yes. Well, you know, he got hired on. He came straight out of college and got hired on a company called Matrix New World. It's also called Matrix Southwest Groundwork. What they do there is they hire him as a field geologist, and what a field geologist do is go out to these wells, check the viability of wells in Arizona. I don't know if that's in other states, but in Arizona, when they build a community, they have to have these wells, and those wells have to produce at least 100 years of water. His job is to determine that, and also the water is viable to be drink out water because of cellulose, the rock cellulose in the bottom. So he's a geologist, so you know what type of rock they are. So that's why they hired him.
So this involves him daily getting into a Jeep, going out into rough terrain. You're all from South Carolina, is that right?
Yes, totally different.
This is a different world for him.
Yes, totally different. But he loved it. He loved it. He challenged me all the time. I said, hey, he tried to find all kinds of ways to make me move to Arizona. Hey, Dad, I just love it here. I'm a tree guy, so, you know. But yeah, that's his daily job. You go out there and it's a different type thing, but he loved it.
What is it? Do you start kind of interviewing the people in the circle, or you go out to the side, or what happens?
Well, that was a long trip. You know, you can imagine I'm doing everything from the car while I'm driving, talking to co-workers, to his company, to the police department, trying to get things done while I'm driving. Once I made it to Arizona, I did get a call from my auntie from Philly telling me that the police department was putting a Phoenix Firebird, it's called this helicopter called Inspirebird in the air. I was relieved, but I was right there, so I'm like almost 3 days later. Once I got in town, the first thing I wanted to do was start my own investigation. And one of those things was to talk to the only person that saw my son last.
I have to think that your training in the Army had to have helped something. I mean, is it a grounding for you? I mean, I know that the love for your son certainly pushed you, but something about being in the military must have helped you.
It did a lot. One of the things that I learned when I was in the military is that we never leave a battle buddy behind, and that's no matter what. We will not leave a soldier behind. And so my son, he's my son, and I'm definitely not leaving him behind. That's thank you. Right. We have to get those appraisals done on the vehicle.
Thank you.
Everything that's out there. The pocket. And I do need to keep those things. Yeah.
Name is that. I think that that's a new
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And I'm still searching for him. Thank you, everybody, for coming into this evening's Q&A. My name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. My son went missing on June the 23rd of last year. He was last seen out there in Buckeye's desert. He's a geologist. He graduated from the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. Upon graduation, he came out to Phoenix to start his life and his career. He landed his first job with a company called Matrix New World, also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater, where he was hired on as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. My son's job is very important. It's to check the viability of wells in the state of Arizona. Anytime a community is built, they have to have wells out there that produce at least 100 years of water. My son's job is to determine that the well can produce that amount of water for 100 years, and also check, the viability of the wells to make sure the water is safe to drink from the rock settlements. Also, my son was, like I said, was on June 23rd. He went out to 2 well sites. He went to the first one around 7 o'clock that morning, and then he went to the second one roughly around 9, where he eventually went missing. According to a worker from a company called Weber, my son had made it out there to Sun Valley Parkway. He called him to get directions. He made it out there on the roadside. My son got out of his vehicle. They had a conversation. My son got back in the vehicle and followed him into that desert. They had to drive 1 mile west and 2 miles north to get to that well site. Upon arriving to that well site, the worker said that my son and him had a conversation about the weather. My son was making remarks that he was tired and he wanted to go back to Phoenix to get some rest, and wanted to invite him to go out also to go to Phoenix. He's declined because he said he believed that the rain cell that was coming upon them was going to pass over. My son, according to this worker, waved to him, got in his vehicle, and drove off, where he has never been seen again. This worker said he then, according to a statement that he told me, he went to go look for my son. He saw his tracks. He stayed left of those tracks and made sure he didn't disturb him, because the police will become looking and that this thing would become national. He stayed left, and he made it up to this. He got to the T junction. He knows that the tracks ran to the west instead of going to the east. That leads back to Sun Valley Parkway, and they ended up going to this fencing area. He made it to a gate, where he went to the gate. He drove another mile or so, where he got out of his vehicle, got out on foot, got up on a big hill to look over to see if he could see Dane's vehicle from a distance. He also told me that he used red paint to paint some rocks with red paint, so that he can direct the officers to where he saw the tracks. Again, like I said, my son have not been seen since. I did get a call from my daughter on June 23rd, who alerted me that a coworker of Daniel's came to her house to look for him. My daughter, like I said, called me once I realized that it's been over 6 hours that anybody have seen Daniel. After doing my due diligence from the job, the coworker said that he was last seen at 9. I knew something wasn't right. We also tried to get a welfare check from the Phoenix, from the Tempe Police Department. According to the Tempe Police Department, I had to call Buckeye because I did mention that the worker said my son was last seen in an area called the White Tank Mountains. At the time, I didn't know what Sun Valley Parkway was, but because of that, like I said, that was the last place Daniel was seen, so they direct me out to Buckeye. When I called Buckeye Police Department, they didn't do the welfare check there in Phoenix, in Tempe, but they did say they was going to call the Tempe Police Department, see if they can get them to do it. At the same time, they told me I wasn't able to put in a missing person report. I had to wait an additional 3 hours That hours, like I said, was very hard because I had to pace the floor and wait those 3 hours. When the 3 hours came, I was able to put that missing report in. Once I did that, Officer Cruz, a night officer, told me that he would go out and search for Daniel along Sun Valley Parkway. He told me that's the first time I ever heard of this road. And he went out there to see if he's stuck on the side of the road. He's going to check that area. After doing my due diligence again, getting the information from coworkers, and I found out that Daniel was indeed inside the desert out there off of Sun Valley Parkway. I requested this officer to go out there and look for Daniel out in the desert. He told me it was nighttime and they couldn't get a bird out there in the air at night, but they would do it in the morning. The morning came. I talked to Officer Haley, who took over from Officer Cruz, night crew. He told me indeed they were going to put a bird in the air to go search for Daniel, but then called me back an hour later and said the flight was canceled because his higher ups unauthorized it. He said they told him that Daniel had the right to disappear if he wanted to disappear. He can. He's an adult. He can disappear if he wants to. After hearing that, I realized that the department was not going to look for my son. Lost all sense of reality and decided to come out west to go search for my son myself. So that's the gist of the story. You guys know the rest. If you guys want to know more about the story, what happened to my son, I can tell you also, once I got here to Arizona, I started my own searches out here, utilizing everything I can to get out there and search for my son. After that, the vehicle, as you know, has showed up almost 30 days later in that ravine that's right here behind me. You can see it there on the side. You see the clothing of my son on the ground. That's the state that the vehicle was in almost 30 days later. We can never forget that the rancher who found the vehicle did indicate in the testimony saying that the vehicle wasn't there 2 to 3 days prior. He was out there searching for his cattle. He's been in that ravine. His cattle go down that ravine to get down to a corral that's south of this area where this vehicle was found. And he was out there 2 to 3 days before, and the vehicle was there. When he came back on July the 19th, the vehicle was there. So a lot of suspicious circumstances around the case, but the department, the Buckeye Police Department, don't see fit to think of it that way. Again, this is David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I'm here to do a Q&A. I want to tell everybody thank you for coming in. If you have any questions, please use the word question or a big capital letter Q or a question mark followed by your questions, and I can take them. I want to thank Kata for coming here this evening. Still on that morning thing. So you guys, thanks for coming in this evening right here on the Q&A. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Gwen, for moderating. Thank you for all the hard work you do. I love you, and thank you so much for being here on the Q&A. Thank you, Tub883, for being here. I really appreciate you coming out. Thank you, Brooklyn Michelle. Thank you so much. I really, guys, if you guys can like, share, subscribe, I don't want to forget that will help the algorithms to get this channel out there. I'm really trying to reach as much people as I can to get my son's story out there and to keep it going. So thank you so much. If you can do that, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jazz, for being here this evening on this evening's Q&A Primetime. Thank you, Gina, for being here on this Q&A. Thank you for all your hard work and everything you do for my son's effort and the effort of finding my son. So I really appreciate you being here on this Q&A. God bless you. Also, Cash, thank you for being here this evening. I will be asking these questions, so if you guys have questions, I will be going down the comment section. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who decided to come in on the Q&A this evening and share, just hear things what's going on here in this case, and also if you have your questions. I do want to tell you, I do have a tip line, anonymous tip line that's right there on the bottom of the screen, that's strolling on the bottom of the screen. If you know anything, heard anything, saw anything, please utilize that tip line. It's a paid tip line. I pay for it. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, live operators take your call. You can stay anonymous if you like. If you don't want to talk to the operators, you just don't talk to anyone, and you want to stay anonymous or non-anonymous, you can also text the word tip to that number, and it still will you still can remain anonymous, like I said, or non-anonymous, but it take it to the form. You can fill that out. If you have something you want to say to me directly, please utilize the number that you see strolling on the bottom of the screen, 803-200-7994. It comes directly to me. If you have any ideas that you want me to present, or if want me to go search this place, or you have a tip but you want to tell me directly, I can tell you with that number. I cannot help you remain anonymous unless you use some type of burner phone. You can't remain anonymous. That's what tip line is up for, or the top up there where you can remain anonymous. Anything else you want to do, you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You can find ways you can help, from signing a petition, joining the searches when I get the searches back up. Everybody know the searches have been paused for now out there in the desert, and for now, but I will have those searches back up. But you also can go on there to find out how you can help by passing out the flyers to, like I said, just sign a petition to, things like that. So just check out pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You see the current events and things like that will be coming up. Also, like I said, the special operation desert searches have been temporarily paused until further notice. But you know what? It is not over. It's not ended. I had to do some readjustments and some reasons why it's on pause now. But I will be back out in the desert again, and I hope you guys can support me once that happens. So thanks so much for everything you have done. Like I said, on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, you can volunteer in other ways tab. You can fill out that form there and put down your skill sets and things like that, and it would help us once this. I have a foundation. I have a foundation. Daniel Robinson Foundation has been filed, and saying we need a lot of help and things like that. So you guys can fill out that form. I really appreciate that. Also, I just want to make sure. Also, I just want to thank you all for being here. First of all, I had my daughter come over, so I'm still in daddy-daughter mode right here. So I really enjoyed my time with her today. So my mind is there. But I'm really grateful you guys coming out this evening. Like I said, if you have any questions, please ask those questions. Put the capital letter question there, capital letter Q there, or the word question there before you ask your questions, and that will help me as I'm coming down the comment section to find your question. Thank you so much, Tanya, for being here. I really appreciate it. Daniel, that's right. He did not just disappear. We know that. Nothing just happens, like that. Nobody just disappear. I'm going to keep finding I'm going to keep looking for my son. So I'm going to keep on fighting hard for him. So, saying thank you so much for being here. All right. Justice for Daniel Robinson, change.org, sign a petition. Please help find Daniel. You got all that on Please Help Find Daniel. You can find all of that. You can sign the petition. Like I said, we sign the petition. It's your voice. I need everybody to speak out. I know you guys support me and my son and the efforts that I'm doing out here and my family. I really appreciate it. But sign that petition. That petition is your voice. I don't see it as a number. I see it as a person. I see it as your voice, and you speak loud. So I'm really grateful for all the numbers. I think it's 100, and I can't remember the number I had this morning. But I know it's near the 120,000 signatures. So we're gonna keep pushing and we're gonna get it there, and make this voice louder. Just have all the backing that we can get. So I really appreciate it. Again, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That would definitely help me get my son's story out there. I'm already at 1,000 subscribers, and that's come from your efforts. Everything is a grassroots efforts here. And I'm really grateful for that. How this whole thing has been growing, and we're getting Daniel's name all over the place, from the Netherlands to some people in Australia. You got people all over the United States. Has some people in Canada has been reaching out and saying they heard about Daniel's story, and they want to help in other ways, and also kind of spread the word, because, like I said, we need that word out there. Somebody who was out there, happened to be out here, that's seen Daniel, could have moved to Canada or something. And, we spread the word out there, and lo and behold, they'll hear about it, and then they may say something. So that's the goal. Of course, like I said, I want to be back in that desert out there to search for Daniel. There's some areas that we still need to search that haven't been searched. It's really hard when I had to put the searches on pause, because my mind always tell me if I could have did just one more search, maybe I would have found Daniel if he's out there. I'm praying that he's not. I pray that this whole thing out there in the desert is a bit waste of time. But as it stands, the only thing I can go by right now is the story that was told at the beginning, and some of the things I've heard or know about based on my investigation and my investigators, what he gathered. So also, thank you, Marv, for being here this evening on this Q&A. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel Honor, for being here Forever Curious. Thank you for being here this evening. So God bless you all. Let me see who I got here. The tip line again. Thank you, Gwen, for putting that up. Don't forget that tip line. Also, Justice for Daniel, RobinsonChange.org. Thanks so much, Gwen, for putting that up there. And let's see who else I got here. T Flowers. Thank you for coming in again. You was up here this morning. I really appreciate to see you back out here again. Francis Rice. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your continued prayers, Minnie. I do see your comment there. I really pray. Thank you so much for your prayers. We need it as a family. Like I said, my daughter just here. I'm still in that mode, so you guys probably can tell the way I'm talking. I'm really thinking about my daughter. I really was happy to see her today, and I'm glad she was here with me. But I want to tell you, she's having a heart too. You know what I'm saying? The family's having a heart. So thank you when you say you continue to pray, Minnie. I really appreciate that. So God bless you for continue to put us in prayer. Also, I have a question from Bossman Blake. Thank you, Bossman Blake, for being here. You asked if the FBI won't get involved. You know, like I told you guys before, Bossman Blake, you may not know. But thank you also, Bossman Blake. I know who you are, and thank you so much for taking the time out from your channel and come out here and support. I really appreciate it. God bless you. As in for the FBI getting involved, I did send out a letter to the Buckeye Police Department last year. And in that letter, I mean, it's a really great letter. I will post it again, start posting those letters and things on social media and also on the website. But in that letter, I had a whole thing there explaining how my son was found. Well, his vehicle was found in a crime scene area. My son went missing in the crime scene area. As you know, in my searches, Buckeye have not found a construction cone. So if you guys see anything that suggests that Buckeye been out there searching in my searches and collected human remains out there, those fictitious stuff. There's nothing that's real. Those searches came from my searches out there with the volunteers who was out there working really hard and the search for my son, and we happened to run into human remains. And so my son, with those human remains out there, my son went missing in the crime scene area. I put that into that letter, and also the fact that even Chief Hall came out his own mouth and said my son went missing in suspicious circumstances in a CNN interview. And I put all that together. I CC'd the city manager, to the mayor, and some other high officials there in that letter. They put him in a corner where he had no choice but to say, yeah, he's bringing the FBI in to do what they call as a case review. And when he, as soon as he wrote that letter to me, said, hey, he's going to have a case review done. My attorney wrote back to him and requested that we be a part, or just I be a part of that case review. They ignored that letter. They didn't respond back to that letter, but they had a case review behind my back and presented whatever they wanted to the FBI, because they know if I would have saw some things, I'm sure then I would have been pointing those lies out to what they're showing to the FBI. But nevertheless, it showed probably a lot of falsehood, or a lot of things. I took credit for a lot of things that I have been doing since I've been out here in Arizona. But whatever it was, they told me, called me back a week later and told me that the FBI said they would not come in my son's case because you, Mr. Robinson, are doing such a great job on your own. They don't need to come in, right? So I don't believe the FBI would say anything like that, but they did. That's a crime shame, because I don't have the resources or the skills of the FBI. So if the FBI feel like I'm doing a better job than they are, then they shouldn't be working for this country. So that's the only reason why I believe the FBI is not involved in my son's case, because when I went to go to the FBI office the other day, the same agent that did come out, I really found out who he was, did come out to the Buckeye Police Department, had his opinion that they did such a great job, so that type deal. So some of those things that they did, when I say they did, the FBI is doing the Buckeye Police Department doing such a great job. And as you guys know, that's far from reality. They're not doing such a great job. If you're doing such a great job, I would not have the vehicle in my possession. I wouldn't have nothing on that scene in my possession. Those things would have been the evidence lockers, and there would have been forensic work done on the clothing, to his computer, to all the things that's in there. The red transfer plate, they would have explanations for all of that. These are the same department that said they didn't know anything about the red transfer plate paint. They didn't even know what they pulled from the black box data my investigator had to tell them there was 11 additional miles on the vehicle, and that came from the black box data information they pulled. But you won't see that on their report. So as in FBI won't come in, I'm still gonna keep fighting for that. I'm gonna keep fighting for justice for my son and a fair case. So also thank you, Gwen, for putting up the tip line. If you guys want to leave a tip, please utilize that tip line, the stroller on the bottom. Also, you can remain anonymous. I do have a question here from Got Your Cake. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Yes, thank you so much for your question. Earlier you spoke of someone who found more clothes in another area. Is this information being followed up? We tried to follow up with the Buckeye Police Department. What it is, in my searches, we was out there doing a line search, and we found those clothing near the well site area, not near where the vehicle was recovered. It was near to where the well site where Daniel was last seen. In the same manner right here, as you see how the clothes are here in that pile right there, there's right there in the same manner as my son's clothing on the ground. It was in a pile, but the pants was a lot larger. Jeans of the person, whoever it belongs to, was a lot larger. We scanned the area for more evidence. We didn't find anything, but it was definitely in that pile. What I do on my searches and my website, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. All you had to do during that time, that's before I had my logistic coordinator now. That's when we were just using, wasn't using this Gaia thing. We was also just using the website. And what you do is take a picture of it and upload it to the website. A copy go to Buckeye Police Department, copy go to my investigator, and a copy goes to myself. And in that, once it goes to the Buckeye Police Department, who has jurisdiction over that area, we don't know what happens. They kept that closed mouth. They haven't put it out in the public, but I put it out in the public as much as I can. Yes, all kind of crime things happen in the area with my son missing. And at the time when we found the clothes, I was thinking it was a serial killer out there, and maybe had something to do with my son's disappearance. Because how ironic is that to find clothing in the same manner out there in that desert? But according to the Buckeye Police Department, and according to what the Buckeye Police say about FBI, they don't consider this as any type of crime or anything that would suggest a crime or anything else like that out there in that desert, no matter how many human remains we find out there or whatever's going on in that desert. So, as in for the clothing, yes, we found clothing in my searches out there in a pile. Also, near this vehicle site that the Buckeye Police Department claimed they searched very hard, we found a cell phone that's also going to be analyzed to see if it have any dealings with my son's disappearance. So there's a lot of things out there, a lot of things that this search, Please Help Find Daniel, has uncovered that the police department haven't done. Maybe the searches with me and the volunteers, maybe we are doing such a great job that we are better than the FBI. I don't know. That's what they're claiming. And then if they really believe that, that's sad. But you know what? We are being progressive. We have found some, human remains. Like I say, we found a lot of suspicious items and things like that. So we covered a lot of ground, over 30,000 acres of land. So, we did a lot out there, working really hard. And I really love those volunteers who's out there doing everything they can to try to bring my son home. And also the fact that they found these human remains to bring some type of closure to somebody else's family. That means a lot. So that means lots to the searchers. So thank you for your question. Got Your Cake. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel Honor, for being here. Thank you, Aaron, for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here. Thank you, Gwen, for putting this information up here again. I really appreciate you, like I said, for being in the moderation section, and also reminding everybody to like, share, subscribe to help me keep this algorithm going, to get this channel out as far as I can. Also, I have a question here from Forever Curious. Are the well sites a target for criminals? I wouldn't know the criminal mind, but it seemed plausible to me. It's a possibility. That's why I would have them checked. I did have checked the two wells, the one that they said my son was last seen at, and the one that was north of that. I was able to get that searched and try to clear those. I do have questions about the one that's north, but that comes, saying we'll find out more about that later. There are also some vertical mines that's sitting out there that that need to be checked. So still working on those. Like I said, guys, I had to put everything on pause right now, but I'm still fighting to get these searches back up and going out there in that desert. So because I do have a lot of areas out there that definitely need to be searched. I have to find my son, and if he's out there, I want to make sure he's not lying on that ground out there. I want to bring him home. So. Okay, thank you, Barry, for being here, and thank you for telling everybody. Yeah, that's true. Thanks for joining everybody tonight. I really want you to like, share, subscribe. I almost looked at it right now, and kind of a constant reminder I do have a meeting, so I'm gonna cut this Q&A kind of short. So thank you for being here, Barry. Thanks for everything you do in the background. I really appreciate all your efforts and all your help and all your love and your passion to finding my son. So thanks so much. Also, thank you, Tanya, for being here. God bless you for taking your time out to be part of this Q&A. Okay, thank you, Yeti Khan. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. God bless you. You guys have any questions, please use the word question, followed by the word question, followed by your question. That help me find it as I come down the comment section. Or you can use the capital letter Q, or like you said, some type of question mark or something like that. But if I miss your question, please ask the question again. I'm just strolling down the comment section trying to look for questions, and I want to get to them. I do have another one from Boss Man Blake. Have you been in contact with any activists? Yes, a lot of them. I have been in some activists that want to do protesting to some other things. So, I get in contact with some activists here. Have some really, really great people here, but sometimes it's a time and place for things. So. It's coming to that time where we may consider some things like protests and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I talked to a lot of activists who also put me in the right places of helping me get some things done in terms of, getting me in touch with certain people that can help, in my searches for Daniel. So, yes, I do talk to activists out here all the time. Some very good people. I'm not going to necessarily put their name out right now, but very good people that help me out a lot, even in the candlelight visuals and things like that with my team, so they kind of they show up and they help out. So I'm really grateful for them. Also, thank you, T and Wildflies, for your question. Did Weber account for the worker's timeline the day Daniel went missing? I haven't spoken with Weber. I almost think that if I'm not mistaken, the worker has some stake or some ownership or something out of other in that company. So I definitely don't I haven't talked to that company myself. Like I told you guys, I just investigate, but I don't have no arresting powers. I don't have no interrogation powers and things like that. So I try to get much I can, but as in talking to that company, no, I did not reach out to them, or only person I have is the worker himself. I did reach out to him, and I did get a lot of answers. That's why I got the red paint that he paints some red rocks. That's where I got him staying left of the tracks from, so he didn't disturb it. That's where I got him explaining that he noticed things are gonna turn big and go viral, gonna turn big and go national. That's the word to use. And yes, I got it from him when he said those things directly to me. So thank you all for being here on this Q&A. Again, I'm David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson. My son went missing out there in Buckeye, on June 23rd. I've been out here since June 26th searching for him. I have not stopped. I'm doing everything I can to find my son, from, like I said, get these flyers out there, to billboards, to banners, to card magnets, to doing this Q&A, to the YouTube channel, Twitter, whatever. Any effort I can to put his name out, and also, like I said, doing over 30,000 acres. I think it was more closer to 40,000 almost acres of land out there in that desert, searching for a son with the volunteers, which I call my family. So also the other efforts of doing my own investigator, along with the private investigators I have, my private investigator and the current, and also doing my own my own investigation of my son's case, and also trying to get and also got the foundation, the Daniel Robinson Foundation, registered. So it's a lot of work, but it's the efforts of finding my son and I'm out here doing so, but doing so with you guys' help. I can't do it by myself. You guys have been helping me along the way, and I've been still continuing to do it. I'm tired, but I'm still pushing it. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here this evening on this Q&A. Thank you for your question. Is your military family connection helping to provide resources to to help find Daniel? No soldier or son left behind. I agree with you. I did reach out to some old battle buddies and things like that. You know, I know people have their lives and things like that, so I don't really press too hard of expecting people to come out and things like that. But the only thing I can do is ask, and I understand my battle buddies. You know, saying may have some of us have our some things that we have to deal with from our war experiences. As myself, you know, saying we have our war experience to deal with. Some people have to deal with those things. Me, I so happen to have to deal with those things while searching for my son. So we do have those things that we have to handle from our war experience. And I really do reach out to my battle buddies and would love to see them with their boots on the ground with me as we were in Afghanistan together, having each other's back, you know, and protecting each other. You know, we are family. They are my family. We're family for life, my military family. We're always going to be family. We're always battle buddies. And you know, of course, you know, Steph, I don't know if you're military, but, you know, and once you're in the military, we all are family. Yes, I do reach out to the military. I reach out to the VA. I'm reaching out more to some of these organizations and see if I can get some soldiers out there to help with these searches and these efforts and things like that. So thank you so much for that question. I really appreciate it because we don't leave anybody behind. And like I said out there in CrimeCon, I'm definitely not going to leave my son behind. And you best believe that that would never happen. You know, we got to keep that mission first. And my son is my primary mission. And my mission also is to help other families. But like, again, I say, my son is my primary mission. So thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. I do have one from Shiro's Nation. Thank you, Shiro Nation, for being here again, being a part of this Q&A. I really enjoy your questions. Did you ever get to see those painted red rocks or get a picture of them? I heard it. He told me about it, but I have never seen anything like that in the desert. I haven't, whatever he was talking about, I have never ran into it. I never heard a volunteer say, hey, Mr. Robinson, look at these red rocks, you know, these rocks that have been painted. So I have never ever seen those, what he was talking about. So from that point, it's just his words, what he told me, you know, personally, what he told me. So other than that, I have not personally seen anything like that out in the desert. You know, so thank you so much for that question. Don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe button if you can, please. That would help the algorithms get the story out there a lot farther. So I'm really grateful if you guys can do that. Also, I got Jacqueline Blue. Jackie Blue, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being surprised. Thank you so much. Well, you know, right now the search is on pause, like I was telling everybody earlier. You know, due to financial restraints and some other things, yes, I had to put the searches on pause for now. But it's not don't mean it's over. So I would love to help. You know, love to have your help out there when I get the searches back up and running again. I really need all the support I can get to get some of these areas that we haven't searched yet. Those things need to be covered. So if I get those covered, I'll be in a good place. So thanks so much, Yetta Con. Thank you so much again for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, for those who just joined in, my name is David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson. My son was missing on June 23rd out there in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona. I'm doing here today to do a Q&A. This is a Q&A prime time. I do them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 a.m. on Arizona time, and that's 9:30 a.m. on the East Coast time every morning. I mean, every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. But this, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. But on Wednesdays, I do this, what I call is a prime time. So I'm here to take you guys' questions. If you have those questions, please put the word question there first, followed by your question, or put a big question mark, or put, you know, some form of, you know, capital letter Q or something to indicate that you're asking a question. That way, when I'm going down the comment section, I can actually see it. So thank you, Gwen, for putting this information out already. Justice for Daniel, change.org. If you guys go to change.org, you go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and all that information is on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, how you can sign a petition Right now it's at 115,052 signatures. I believe that's what Gwen put up there. So thank you so much, Gwen, for putting that up there. Please help find Daniel.com. You can go to, and don't forget about the fast and pray for Daniel that we will have on that Wednesday before the near the 23rd. I look at the calendar, but we will have a fast and prayer. You'll hear more about it, and that'll be coming up. That's another event. Again, like I said, I do have the foundation, Daniel Robinson Foundation, that has been filed, and we're definitely getting this thing working on to get this thing up and running. And we have, the goal for the foundation is to be able to help other families not to go through the same thing I have gone through. Just for instance, get news coverage, to trying to get equipment out there to do the search, to the funding, the things like that. So we're working on a lot of things right now. I do have a capable team that's been helping out a lot. So I'm really grateful for them. I do have a question here. I think I see a lot of cues there. When will searches resume? As soon as I get the financial things financed up, again, I can be able to do it. I can't do both. But you guys know that I'm saving up everything I can to get everything done on the scene out there. You see behind me in that ravine. The clothing had to be checked forensically. The red transfer paint had to be tested. The airbags had to be tested. Checked for DNA and things like that. Inside the vehicle, everything. His personal computer to cell phone already being taken care of. I found another cell phone in the scene that had to take care of. Also, just like I said, his personal computer and his work computer. So it's a lot of things in that vehicle that should have been done on day one by the department, but they chose not to do it. They chose to do the fingerprinting under my request a few days after the vehicle was turned over to me. So, which it was turned, like I said, the vehicle turned over to me the next following day that it was found. And without those fingerprinting or without any kind of forensics work done on the scene. So I'm really fighting for, the justice for my son, and make sure that, he get the justice and everything that he deserves. You guys, please don't forget the tip line. Thank Gwen for putting that back up there again. It's shown on the bottom of the screen. You can remain anonymous or you can go non-anonymous. Either way, it's on the bottom of the screen there, 24 hours, 7 days a week. You got live operators that can take your call. And but if you don't want to talk to anybody, again, you can text the word tip to that number and you still can remain anonymous or non-anonymous. Don't forget to go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for all the information that you need. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can utilize the number you see scroll on the bottom of the screen. So thank you again. I may be cutting this Q&A a little short. I'm a little tired today. I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for your time and coming out to the Q&As and support. Like I said, if you guys please, by all means, please share Daniel's story. If you if all of you, if you can find someone to tell Daniel's story, please do so. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Also, ways you can help. You want to do pass out flyers. You can actually have a PDF there. Just you actually make the flyers if you like, so you can send them out, or you can, like I said, hit me up on the number, the 803 number that I had on the bottom of the screen, where you can I'll put it back there again, where you can ask for those flyers to be sent to you, and we'll get them out there to you. So thanks so much. I really appreciate it for all your support, all your love. God bless you, and I hope I see you Friday. I will have a Q&A on Friday morning at 6:30. If I don't have it, I will tell you in advance. But as it stands for now, I do have the 6:30 Q&A for Friday. And if you guys can join, you have any questions that you want to ask, please ask your question. I'm still trying to look down the conversation and see if I can squeeze in one more question there. Okay, you know what? I was reading something from T Flowers. It kind of reminded me of my team. I'm gonna put this up because it made me smile because you sound like one of the team members. I was reading there and I had to look at the comment section of your name at top and realize there's some you not the team, one of the team members. But it say yes, rest and we can watch the replays of the Q&A. Maybe a week off. You sound just like my team who are probably saying right now, David. They know what they would say to me. But you know what? You sound just like them. When I was reading that just now, I had to put that up there. It kind of made me smile because I thought it was one of the team members. And lo and behold, it's you. So thank you so much, T and Wildflowers, for putting that there and your concern. Yes, I do have to get my rest. I'm tired. You guys probably can see that. I am tired. I need to rest. and I will be getting some rest. But like I said, yeah, I see Shauna. That's funny. You know, I was saying tea and wildflowers. I thought that was you, your comment. But I'm glad that she also. So thank you all for understanding that. Yes, I am tired. You know, we had a long, prosperous time at the CrimeCon event. We got a lot done, a lot accomplished. Had some meetings today and things like that. I do have one more question. I know you're gonna get me, Shauna. But satellite imagery from March 21st show what looks like a yellow truck at site. Do you have a record of activity at the site on months leading up to Dan's disappearance? I know I do not have any records of activity, but if you're saying that was a yellow truck, at what site? I'm not sure what site you're talking about. If you can be clarified, if ever curious, that would help out. But if you're talking about the well site, yeah, I don't know anything about you know, the vehicle or anything like that that's out there at that well site. That's possible is at the well site. So only thing I do know is that just the worker from Weber and my son was out there around that time. So on June 23rd, is what I was told. And like I said, I had to continue to you know, just checking to everything. So satellite imagery and things like that would help out a lot. You guys, you see my my green screen kind of messing up with my teeth a little bit there. I can kind of see it on the screen. Best believe my teeth is not disappearing at this point. Or I have no silver teeth in my mouth, things like that. It's just the green screen behind me really acting up right now. So the quality of this feed is probably not doing so well today. So, but thank you so much for that question. Forever curious and that information there. I would check it too. You know, it's kind of ironic you say that. There is some also some yellow transfer paint. My investigator didn't recognize, but it's some slight yellow yellow transfer paint on that vehicle also that I'm gonna have to check out also along with that. But thank you all for your questions. Thank you for your time. I will try to go ahead and get this rest. I do have a meeting pretty soon in a way. And, you know, so I'm really grateful you guys come on this Q&A. If you guys, like I said, if you all can just come back on Friday's Q&A at 6:30 that morning on Arizona time. Like I said, that's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You know, you come back, please do. I would love to hear your questions. I would love to have put out some more information about everything that's coming up. My team members, I'm sure they will have a list of things that I can make sure that I mention when I come out on Friday. So thank you. I really love you all. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for your love and your support. I do need to get some rest. I am feeling tired. I'm listening to my body right now a little, and I'm going ahead and call it for a day. But I love you all, and thank you so much for being a part of this Q&A. God bless you.